Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about the coefficient ranking rule that could come into 23-24 for the Champions League for football. So basically what they're saying is what's being proposed to the ESA, which is the European Clubs Association, by these Premier League clubs and the Spanish clubs, is that they would, even if they had a bad season, they would get Champions League football as long as they finished in the top six. So it's basically the Super League. It's something to protect the big clubs, and if they had a bad season, it don't matter because they'll just get Champions League football anyway as long as they finish in the top six. Which, with the money they all generate from merchandising and TV money and whatever else, so for example, Villa could finish in the next few years. Let's just say Villa could finish fifth, and Man United could finish sixth, but Man United would get Champions League football because of their coefficient ranking. So the coefficient ranking is based on you basically just being in the Champions League over the last 5 years. So the top 15, I think it is, Bayern are in it. You've got Man City, Man United, I think Arsenal, Spurs, Atletico, Sevilla, Roma, and I think I said Juventus already. So basically, it's basically to protect the big clubs, like I said. And UEFA just bow down to them all because they know if they refuse to do what they're asking, they could just say, oh well, we're going to break away again. It's another thing based on pure greed to benefit the big clubs, and it's an absolute disgrace. They already get so much money, generate so much money, probably get the most money from TV deals. And they want more money and a divine right to qualify for the Champions League just because of their coefficient over the last 5 years. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke, and I'd be concerned as a football fan over the next 5-10 years what rules are going to start slipping in just to, because they know they can't get the Super League without the English clubs. They ain't going to get a Super League. But what they'll try and do is they'll implement it. They'll try and get this rule in, and then over the next few years they'll implement something else, and eventually it'll just be a Super League anyway. So basically what they're saying is the top four, whoever finishes in the top four, get Champions League anyway. So for example, if Villa next 5-10 years, or Leicester or Everton, someone like that, were to finish in the top four, you still get Champions League football. But it's just the fact of two teams can go into the Champions League basically through the back door, because of their coefficient ranking over the last 5 years. You're basically in. It wouldn't benefit anyone apart from their pockets, because if you're a team chasing Champions League football, and say if they implemented it now, you'd know, well, as long as we finish fifth or sixth, we're getting Champions League football. That would have effect on the owners of the clubs, the managers and the players. Because if you really just wanted Champions League football, and that's all you really cared about, and then you start to push for bigger things, you'd be like, well, as long as we finish in the top six, it don't matter for those clubs specifically. It's farcical that these clubs think that they've got a right to be in the Champions League because they think that they're better than everyone else because they earn the most money and they've got the biggest squads with the biggest wages. It's a joke. It should never be on anything but merit. If you're crap, you get relegated. If you're good, you finish in the top four. If you're decent but not quite there yet, you get Europa League football. And if you make a push but you're miles away from everyone else, you maybe get Conference League football. It should never be on, well, you know, they deserve it because they've been in the Champions League over the last 5 years. It's just ridiculous, and I wouldn't be surprised if they implemented something where, because of their points total in the Premier League since its inception, that they would say, oh well, we want a rule where we can't get relegated. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised, as silly as that sounds, because of the money that they want. All these American owners want the Premier League to be like the NFL and the MLS, where you generate money and the clubs are about the owners rather than the fans, and you generate so much money that there's no relegation and your assets are protected. Man United, this is a big thing for, because all they care about is top four. They don't really have any ambition to push for titles. As long as they get that money from qualifying for the Champions League, then they're perfectly happy. And if this rule was to come into place, which I think it will, because a lot of clubs are asking for it, and like I said, UEFA and the ESA, the European Clubs Association, just bow down to them because they think, well, if we can't possibly let them, we have to let them do this, otherwise they're going to threaten to leave again. The power that these clubs and these owners have is beyond ridiculous, and it's got to a point where you can't get that power back off them. They've already took that power when they took over the clubs. When people, from the UEFA let them have decisions and whatever. So it's got to the point now where they've got so much power, you can't say no to them because they bring the most money to UEFA from viewing rights. If they lost them clubs, they would lose a load of money. It was the same with the Super League. They was terrified. It wasn't about the fans. They was terrified that they were going to lose millions and millions of pounds from the likes of Barcelona and Juventus and Real Madrid and Man United and Man City leaving their respective domestic leagues. And if that happened, and they left their domestic leagues, then they would lose tons and tons of money. They didn't care about the fans. They was just someone for us to support at that time. All they care about in the UEFA and the ESA is the money. And the changing of the Champions League to from 32 to 36 teams, hence why there's going to be apparently two extra teams in this coefficient ruling. There's going to be 36 teams in the Champions League from the 24-25 season, I believe. So therefore you'd have the top four, and then you'd have, say, Spurs or Arsenal finish 5th and 6th. You'd have them as well. But like I said, a team could finish 5th, like Villa or Everton, and a team like United could finish 6th and miles behind them, but one place behind them, but miles behind them in terms of points, but still get Champions League. It would take away some of the integrity from the Premier League because it wouldn't be a top 4 race, it'd be a top 6 race, basically. So yeah, I just thought I'd give my thoughts on it. I think it's pathetic, but it's probably going to come into play for the reasons I said. Like they're just going to bow down to the big clubs because they're terrified of them trying to break away again. I think it's an absolute disgrace, and I'm concerned for where football's going. If this rule comes in, they'll just try and implement others. But yeah, like, share and subscribe, and thanks for watching.